Here in the Diocese of Down and Conor, this Sunday, the 25th of October, has been designated as Safeguarding Sunday. It's a day to remember the pain and the suffering of all who have been abused. Today we hold them in our prayers before our church and before society. We acknowledge today past failures, and we recommit to growing a culture to protect and to safeguard children and persons at risk. As I prepared these words and record them, I recall the faces of persons affected directly and personally by abuse. I think of families and individuals who have suffered because of abuse of family members and persons dear to them. And then there is also the pain of knowing that one's efforts can never totally undo the harm and destruction wreaked by abuse. One prays that the skills of counsellors, the support of other professional agencies, and the grace of God itself might work to free from the abyss of alienation from self and from others that arises from the experience and the horror of abuse. Over the years, I've been humbled and deeply touched by conversations with many survivors. As a church and as a society, it's essential that we continue to offer and make safe spaces to receive, to listen to, and to hear the pain and suffering endured by survivors as part of their search for healing. Today, I renew my apology to them for the failures of the church in the past. One thing I've learned is that an apology must include forward action and follow through. So Safeguarding Sunday today is a call to awareness, to action, and to vigilance. Safeguarding Sunday calls us as Christians and as citizens to refresh our recognition of the intrinsic dignity of each person made in the image of God. You and I, each person is sacred. When we meet each other, interact with another person, we encounter a sacred core, deserving always respect and care. Safeguarding Sunday is also a call to action and to vigilance. Learning from failures in the past, today we recommit to the call of the gospel to care for little children as Jesus did. We rededicate ourselves to support and to protect the weak after the example of Christ himself. Today I want also to acknowledge the work of all who are engaged in the work and in the ministry of safeguarding in our diocese. I thank the priests and religious in our parishes, the members of the parish safeguarding committees, the members of the diocesan safeguarding committee, the advisory panel members, the director and staff of the diocesan safeguarding office, the director and staff of the vetting service, which supports not only this diocese but also the diocese here in Northern Ireland. Today, I wish to offer a public statement of thanks and gratitude to the many hundred volunteers in our parishes. For our common good, for the safety of our children, they have taken part in training programs over the years. They have worked diligently and faithfully to make our church, its parishes, our faith community, and their gathering spaces safe for children and for all of us. We thank you, the volunteers, throughout our parishes for your continuing service and commitment. Our parish and our society needs your continuing presence and support, your continuing work, especially in these difficult times arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. Together with all who promote safeguarding in our diocese, I'm also grateful for the services of the National Board for the Safeguarding of Children in Ireland, for the restorative work of Towards Healing, which counsels so many survivors, and also for the spiritual guidance and accompaniment offered by that initiative towards healing, or towards peace. And I also acknowledge the fruitful professional cooperation we have as a diocese with the statutory authorities. With this pandemic, the risk of various new forms of abuse is, alas, arising. Some examples are the possible neglect of children, domestic abuse, the silent cry of the aged and the housebound in their isolation, the rise in mental health issues, the possibility of online abuse and manipulation, or even addiction to pornography. Many of these risks that I've mentioned are invisible, though they are all around us. So this is a time for staying alert, for helping and for seeking help, and above all, for vigilance and acting for the safety and the good of others. To promote safeguarding and the structures of virtue which ensure the safety of children and adults at risk, the community of the Church depends on each one of us. Today we pray that our prayers on this Safeguarding Sunday may refresh and re-energise our commitment to safeguarding. We pray that we may all actively support the service of the numerous volunteers who work in our parishes. We pray too that we may continue to assist those who have suffered so deeply through the crime and horror of abuse. And all of us together, may we turn to the crucified and risen Christ in our pain, in our sorrow, and in our determination to protect against all forms of abuse of children and persons of every age in life, each one, young and old, created in the image of God.